Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's time to start screaming, you know, that this night's Usyk Fury, but the reality is there's only one fight for Tyson Fury, and that's Anthony Joshua.
Eddie Hearn believes Tyson Fury is still at his peak despite his loss to Alexander Usyk, and he's pushing for a blockbuster showdown with Anthony Joshua to revive British boxing's biggest rivalry.
It's the biggest fight probably in the history of British boxing. Everyone will always want to see it. And by the way, that wasn't a Tyson Fury that looked finished.
Hearn has remained firm in his belief that Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua Usyk last Saturday night in Riyadh. Despite the disappointment of Fury's unanimous decision loss, Hearn insists that this loss does not mark the end of Fury's career. In fact, Hearn has even gone as far as to say that Fury is still at the peak of his powers. According to Hearn, Fury versus Joshua is the fight that would electrify the British boxing scene, suggesting that it could be the biggest showdown in British boxing history.
He didn't look gun-shy, he didn't look like his punch resistance was in question like we talked about earlier, so I think Tyson Fury's still potentially at the peak of his powers, just not good enough to beat Alexander Usyk tonight. But for me, look, AJ against Fury is the one.
Hearn plans to arrange not one, but two massive bouts between Fury and Joshua, one at Wembley Stadium in London and another in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Part of the annual Riyadh season, Hearn has also expressed his intention to speak with Saudi boxing chief Turki Al Sheikh about making this blockbuster fight a reality.
It's the one at Wembley, and then it's back out here for Riyadh season. I'm going to be pushing His Excellency to make the fight, but that's maybe one for another day. Tonight belongs to Alexander Usyk, but Fury will struggle with this, I think.
Fury's performance in the Usyk fight was far from a strong display, and Hearn's assertion that Fury was still at the peak of his powers seems optimistic at best. While it is clear that Fury did not look poor in the fight, as Hearn claimed, many fans and analysts felt that he did not perform at his usual level. He lacked the sharpness and aggression that often defines his best performances, and Usyk's tactics and superior conditioning in the later rounds ultimately proved too much. Hearn, however, stuck to his guns, emphasizing that Fury was not a fighter on the verge of retirement. According to Hearn, Fury was still in the mix, even though he wasn't able to overcome Usyk on that night.
Only one fight for Fury, which is AJ, and I don't think it's time to go on about it tonight. He's going to be hurting from that defeat, and he's a great fighter, but for me, it's the only fight to make.
While some might question whether fans are still interested in such a match, especially with both fighters coming off losses, Hearn insists that the fight would still attract attention. There are a few other major bouts available for these two men in the UK, and for Hearn, the Joshua-Fury clash represents the best option for both. Even though Joshua has been handed a humiliating defeat at the hands of Daniel Dubois in recent months, Hearn remains confident that the Joshua-Fury matchup could still have the intrigue and drama needed to capture the public's attention.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we can do whatever we want to do. What the public want is AJ against Fury. It's what they always want. And it's time to make that fight. But let's see, respect Tyson Fury, see what he wants to do in the future, and no rush.
On the other hand, Fury was not sure about his next opponent and said he'll go home to have a good Christmas with his family right now. He stated, "What's next for me? I'm going home and having some time off. I was quite confident. I thought I won that fight again." About the fight with Usyk, Fury believed he had won the fight, saying, "I thought I won that fight again." Fury compared his situation to being Larry Holmes'd, referencing a past controversial decision in boxing history. Despite his belief that he had won both fights against Usyk, Fury found himself with 2 losses on his record. He admitted there was nothing he could do about it now, except to continue fighting with all his heart. He added that he would always believe, even until the day he dies, that he had won the fight.
I was quite confident. I thought I won that fight again. I think I've got Larry Holmes here. I thought I've won both fights. But then again, I've gone home with 2 losses on my record now, so there's not much I can do about it. I can just fight my heart out and do the best I can. But again, I'll always believe until the day I die, I won that fight.
The second fight between Fury and Usyk didn't carry the same drama as their first, in which Fury was nearly knocked out by Usyk in a wild 9th round. This time, the rounds were more difficult to score, with Fury maintaining the pressure throughout. He believed he had been the more aggressive fighter, landing punches to both the body and head. Fury mentioned that his promoter, Frank Warren, had him ahead by 3 or 4 rounds, and many others agreed that he was at least 2 rounds up. Still, Fury couldn't fully understand why the judges didn't see it his way. Fury felt particularly hard done by, and though he didn't want to make excuses, he suggested that without a knockout, things often don't go in a fighter's favor.
it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. It's happened now. I know boxing, been in it all my life. You can't change no decisions. But I'll just always feel a little bit hard done by. Not a little bit, actually a lot. But I think when you don't get the knockout, this is what happens. You can't guarantee a win.
Fury ended by humorously attributing Usyk's victory to a bit of Christmas spirit and a gift from the judges.
A lot of people say that Usyk wins thanks to his spirit. Did you feel it?
I didn't feel no spirit. I felt a little bit of Christmas spirit in there, and I think he got a little Christmas gift from them judges. Christmas gift early.
Usyk had his own thoughts on the fight. While he had nothing but respect for Tyson Fury as a fighter, he was quick to brush off any suggestion that his victory had been influenced by the judges' bias. In response to Fury's sarcastic comments about receiving an early Christmas gift from the judges, Usyk retorted that if the victory was indeed a gift, he owed his thanks to God, not to Fury. He also took the opportunity to take a swipe at Frank Warren, suggesting that Warren might be blind for claiming that Usyk didn't deserve such a high score. However, Usyk emphasized that none of these arguments mattered now, as the victory was already in his hands.
I very respect this guy, because I think it's very tough my opponent. Tyson Fury make me strong. Tyson Fury continue not like motivated for me, but Tyson is a great opponent. It's a big man, it's a tough boxer, it's a good man. Tyson a lot of talk to me, yeah? It just show. I am very respect Tyson Fury. 24 rounds, listen, now it's already history. Uncle Frank, I think blind. If Tyson say it's Christmas gift, okay, thank you God, not Tyson, thank you God. Thank you my coach Yuri, thank you my coach Kuba, thank you my team. Listen, Frank crazy man, you know? I think, that's my opinion. Okay, no problem. I win.
After the fight, several analysts and former fighters offered their assessments of Fury's performance. Some felt that Fury had not been outclassed by Usyk, and the fight had been closer than the judges' scorecard suggested. However, others disagreed, and many felt that Usyk had earned a clear victory. One of the most vocal critics of the decision was Fury's promoter, Frank Warren. He strongly denounced the scoring, stating that one judge had awarded Usyk all of the last 7 rounds, while the other 2 judges gave Fury only 1 round each in the final stretch. This, in Warren's view, was simply not reflective of the action in the ring.
The one judge gave Usyk the last 7 rounds. He didn't give Tyson 1 round, and the other 2 judges of the last 7 rounds gave him a round each. Each gave him 1 round. I mean, I've been doing this for years, and I'm biased, I know, because I'm in Tyson's camp, but how on earth can anybody say he never won 1 round out of the last 7?
Warren, clearly biased as part of Fury's team, made his disbelief known, questioning whether some of the judges may have been Ukrainian, given their highly contentious scorecards. He went so far as to describe the scoring as dreadful, and suggested that the outcome was deeply unfair. Warren's words echoed the sentiments of many Fury supporters, who felt that the fight had been much closer than the final decision indicated, while some neutral observers, including notable figures like Oscar De La Hoya, supported Usyk's victory. Warren remained convinced that Fury had done enough to win at least some of the final rounds.
Sorry?
Ukrainian judges?
Well,
They might as well have been.
yeah. Whatever they were, honestly, I'm dumbfounded at how that scoring can be. It's dreadful.
I thought he won it by a couple of rounds. I was sitting next to by 3 rounds. I was sitting next to a couple of seats away from Oscar De La Hoya, who's a neutral. He had Tyson winning it. There was a couple of other good judges there, people who all along that front row. Most of them thought Tyson won the fight, and Alex and Igor sitting there, they weren't confident. I'll tell you that. They weren't confident. They were sitting one sitting.
Fury's trainer, Ben Davison, described the fight as extremely close and praised his fighter for making some good adjustments during the bout. He noted that he was scoring the fight round by round and felt it was difficult to call, as both men had their moments.
A few people around me, being honest, had Usyk up. I didn't score it round by round, but I had the feeling that Tyson was going to get it. I can't sit here and go, this is the score I had because I didn't score round by round, you know. But it was a tight fight, really tight fight. But I thought Tyson boxed well. I thought he made some really good adjustments.
Naseem Hamed also criticized the decision, claiming that the result should have been a draw. Hamed suggested that such a result would have set up a trilogy between Fury and Usyk, something that many fans would be eager to see. He added that while Usyk's skills were undeniable, Fury had performed better than many expected and deserved at least some credit for his efforts.
Give it the way they give it Usyk. I just thought he did really, really well. Tyson, he did way better than the first time, so that deserved to be a 1-1, and we should have a trilogy on our hands. So I'm a bit upset for Tyson. I'm a bit upset, obviously, for all of his fans, his family, and I just wish he'd won that fight because we needed that fight. He needed to cement his legacy, and I thought that he did. To be honest, I think a lot of people saw it different, but I know one thing. I know that he was working really, really hard, Usyk, to create as much as he could with working with his hand speed and the shots that he got in. I don't know what the punch count was for how many times he connected, but it might have possibly been more than Tyson's. But you know what? There's no way it was the way they said it was. That's all I know.
Meanwhile, others such as Lennox Lewis, while praising the fight as a great spectacle, suggested that Fury had missed an opportunity. He noted that the fight had been close, but he believed that Fury could have been more aggressive in the later rounds. Lewis felt that Fury, with his size and reach advantage, should have imposed himself more on Usyk, especially considering that he had already been beaten once before.
I think I like the first fight better. This was a good fight as well, very close. You know, when it comes to heavyweight boxing and somebody's beat you the first time, you gotta go after him the second time. I felt Tyson Fury should have went after him a little bit more, and it would have been a different outcome.
I thought in the 10th round he was holding and mugging him, getting good work inside. I thought that's what the whole fight would look like. Are you surprised by the game plan of Fury?
No, I'm not surprised. You know, whatever their game plan was, mine would have been different. But whatever their game plan was, it didn't work. I felt that he needed to do a lot more work. You know, go after him a bit more, press forward a little bit more. But, you know, it was overall a great fight.
Lawrence Okoli offered another perspective, acknowledging that Fury had controlled the early part of the fight with his size and body shots. However, he also noted that Usyk's superior conditioning allowed him to throw more punches in the later rounds, giving him the edge in the later stages of the fight.
Did you think that the weight had any factor? What did you think of Tyson coming in heavier?
I think it did have a factor. It depends in different parts. So he was able to, in parts, get hold of Usyk lean on him, put a little bit of good work in the body shots and stuff. But then I do think that down the straight, because Usyk was able to weather that, the conditioning did play a factor in the last few rounds where he was able to just throw 3-4 punches more in exchanges, and I think that's what edged it out for him.
For some, the fight was closer than the official scorecard suggested. Francis Ngannou stated that he felt the fight was closer than the judges had made it out to be. Ngannou expressed his belief that both fighters had a legitimate chance of winning, but ultimately, Usyk had the edge. While he respected Usyk's skills, he also felt that the scoring was somewhat unfair.
I think the fight was pretty close. I would have scored the fight closer than that. Maybe Usyk could have still win. I mean, at the end of the fight, he wasn't sure that anybody is a winner because everybody could have been a winner.
Teddy Atlas offered a more measured view. While he admitted that Fury had followed a better game plan in the rematch compared to their first fight, he ultimately credited Usyk for finding a way to win. Atlas pointed out that Fury had done a much better job of keeping Usyk at bay and using his reach, but Usyk's resilience and ability to capitalize on opportunities had once again proven to be the difference.
Usyk knows how to win. He'll find a way to win. He'll find a way to win. And I thought Tyson would be better, and he was better. He was better. Give him credit for that, because he kind of fought the game plan that I kind of suggested that he should. Instead of just moving around the ring and letting Usyk boil him down with the pressure like he did the first time, he set himself. He used the wingspan. He set himself where he made Usyk earn his way in. He wasn't getting pushed all over the ring, and that's what wears you down. And Fury, to his credit, he did a much better job. But Usyk does what he does.
Michael Buffer felt that the match was closer than the scorecard suggested and could have gone either way. He acknowledged that Fury's size and reach were effective, but he also praised Usyk's relentless energy, comparing him to a machine that never slowed down.
I thought it was a closer fight. I mean, it might even have gone either way. You know, he used his size and reach and everything. Usyk is like a machine, though. He's just got a big battery that never stops.
On the other hand, Amir Khan agreed that the fight was tight, but didn't think it was as close as the scorecards indicated. He pointed out that Fury was only awarded 4 rounds across the cards, each giving a score of 116 to 112, but he personally saw the fight as even heading into the final rounds. While Khan believed Fury could have taken the victory, he wished both fighters well in the aftermath.
I mean, look, it was a close fight. It could have gone either way, in my opinion. I think the scorecards only gave Tyson over the 4 rounds or something.
Yeah, it was 116, 112 on all scorecards, 8-4.
8-4, yeah. I mean, look, I don't think it was that close. Honestly, I had it even in round 10, going into the final 2 rounds, and I thought Tyson might have nicked it, you know what I mean? It could have gone either way.
Carl Froch also saw the fight as closely contested, especially in the early rounds. He noted that from round 1 to around the 7th, the action was back and forth, with some rounds being hard to score. Froch mentioned that rounds 3, 4, and 5 were particularly difficult given their closeness.
He's defended his titles against Tyson Fury, and I've got to be totally honest, the right man won. It was a close fight. It ebbed and flowed a little bit in the beginning. From round 1 to about round 6 or 7, the fight was pretty close. I was scoring it. I give a round to Tyson, I give a round to Usyk, I give the second round to Usyk. It was like 3, 4, 5 rounds. I couldn't really split them. It was very close.
Oscar De La Hoya felt that Usyk had seized control in the second half. He criticized Fury for not using his jab effectively and failing to manage his distance, which he believed cost him the fight. De La Hoya also pointed out that Fury didn't appear to have made any notable improvements since their first encounter and seemed to tire as the fight went on. In De La Hoya's view, Usyk deserved the win for his impressive skills and tactical execution.
How did you score the fight? We've just seen Alexander Usyk got a unanimous decision by 2 rounds.
I think Usyk pulled it off in the second half of the fight. Usyk comes out strong in the second half of the fight. I didn't see Tyson use many jabs. I didn't see Tyson use his distance, and therefore we saw the outcome, and Usyk deserves it.
Do you see any improvements in Tyson from the first fight? Any adjustments?
I don't think I did. I saw Tyson tired.
Sonny Edwards felt that while the first few rounds were tight and Fury had some good moments in the middle rounds, Usyk clearly took over in the final 6 rounds. Edwards remarked that the fight wasn't as thrilling as their first encounter, as both fighters were cautious and respectful of each other's strengths. He noted that while Fury did well in trying to counter Usyk's work, Usyk showed more quality overall, especially as the rounds progressed.
Yeah, I did. I think the first rounds were close. Tyson had a few of the middle rounds, but I think the back stretch, the last 6, I think Usyk pretty much had all of them, to be honest. Thought it was not as great of a fight as the first time, but you could see that both men really respected each other. They were both trying not to give too much away, and when they started letting the hands go, then the fireworks came, but then it was a bit too late. Like it weren't the most classic spectacle, but Usyk did what he needed to win, and I think Fury tactically was a lot better.
Moses Itama agreed with the outcome and praised the British fighter for accepting responsibility for his performance. Despite his desire to see Fury win, Itama felt the scorecards were fair.
It was good. Scorecards were fair. I wanted Tyson to win, but it is what it is. It is what it is. He had a good accountability for himself. He had a good accountability for himself.
Dave Allen, who admitted to not watching all 12 rounds, still believed the decision was likely correct based on what he had seen. However, he wasn't fully certain and expressed interest in a potential third fight. Allen remarked that it would be unfortunate for either fighter to lose to someone else, though he questioned whether there was enough public demand for a trilogy.
I didn't watch the full 12 rounds, so it probably would be unfair for me to give a proper breakdown of it. What I saw, I thought the decision was probably right. but I didn't watch the full thing properly, so I don't know. I'd like to see the third fight.
You'd like to see the trilogy? Yeah?
I don't want to see him box anybody else. I don't want to see the man get beat by anybody else.
Do you think the demand's there, really?
I don't know. I do not want to see Usyk get beat by anybody.
Spencer Farron also weighed in, offering his opinion that if the scoring hadn't been so wide, it wouldn't have felt like a robbery. He believed that Usyk had remained calm and composed throughout the fight, even when taking some solid punches, which allowed him to maintain control.
Let's call it as it is. You know what I mean? I think if the scoring wasn't so wide, then we wouldn't be screaming robbery, right? I'm just going to be totally honest. There was an argument to say I saw this fight 115, 130 to either man, right? But the one that was more domineering and was more poker face when they were under attack was Alexander Usyk. And that could leave the impression on the judges, right? But the thing what impregnated the judges' mindset more than anything is like, even when Usyk was losing a round, he'd try to stick it on you in the last bits, and then he'll come big in the next round. And that's, to me, what made the difference. Like, there was certain times when, with Tyson Fury, there were sustained attacks, but they wasn't regular enough. When Usyk did the sustained attack, you knew, you know what's going on here? And you can also hear the thudding of the punches from Usyk. So, you know what I mean? Tyson Fury's got every right to believe that he won that fight.
Saudi boxing chief Turki Al-Sheikh believed Usyk had won by a clear margin of 4 rounds. He praised the bout as exceptional, but reiterated that in boxing, there must always be a definitive winner and loser. Al-Sheikh also expressed interest in seeing a rematch between Usyk and Daniel Dubois, though he made it clear that such a fight would only happen if Dubois emerged victorious in his upcoming bout with Joseph Parker.
What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think he win. I counted. He had 4 rounds more. My account.
A lot of us expected Tyson maybe with the more weight to go in there and try and
Tyson
stop him.
Do everything, doing amazing fight, but this is the boxing. There is one winner and there is loser. But next, I want if Dubois win in February, I want to see Usyk and Dubois again.
Despite the controversy surrounding the decision, Usyk's victory has solidified his position at the top of the heavyweight division, but for many fans, the real intrigue lies in what comes next for Fury and Joshua, as both men continue their journeys through a heavyweight landscape that is as unpredictable as ever. Only time will tell whether these two giants will meet in the ring and whether their fight will live up to the immense hype that surrounds it. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.